To be present, we must be intentional, and to bear fruit, we must feed the soul. You're listening to Pause, Sip, and Ponder. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, Ponders. Welcome back to another episode of Pause, Sip, and Ponder. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time listening in, this is a podcast where we talk about everything and anything in the aim to give you some encouragement, to give you some insight, some wisdom from the people we see every day, from storytelling. And I'm super excited to be here. This episode is in commemoration and honor for Filipino American History Month. It's a lot, but we were actually going to record this earlier on in this month, but because of timing and everything, but I actually think it's a great timing right now where we're able to have our two guest speakers today. We want to talk about more about what goes on behind a business, but also how our Filipino upbringing has been a part of our DNA and has really influenced who we are today as we grow up, as we get older. And how much we value a lot from it. And so if you want to learn more about Filipino heritage, we can link that in our description as well. But we want to do this in honor of our parents, of our grandparents, those who paved a way for us to be able to be here, for us to be able to have opportunities and all of that. And so I'm super excited. As you can see, we're in a new spot today, Filo Cafe. It is a Filipino restaurant here in Rockville. And they serve a variety of things, which I'll have them explain more. They'll probably do it better than me because they have the menu probably from A to Z, everything memorized. But I really wanted to take this time for also the customers of Filo Cafe to get to know the owners more in depth. I think a restaurant is more than just the food or the building itself, but there's stories behind it. And I think for anyone who is into or wanting to have a business as well, I think it's having our guest speakers today, we can really learn from them. And I always say that age is nothing but a number. And I think when you are starting young, there's so much things we can learn from one another. And so, yeah, today I have my guest speakers, Allaine and JC. Woo! Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Super excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for providing your space today. And we are so proud of you guys, even though we just met, seeing all the customers come in and out. And it feels like home, actually, being able to be here. It reminds us a lot about our homes. And so I'm sure you'll share more about what your guys' intentions were, your mission and your vision with Filo Cafe. But for those who are new or are listening in, can you please introduce yourself? Share a little bit about yourself. It could be about business. It could not be about business. It could be personal things like what your favorite ice cream is or whatever. And also your role here at Filo Cafe.
All right, so my name is JC. I'm one of the owners of Filo Cafe. Main role in Filo Cafe, I did take on some more responsibilities in social media, thinking of new ideas for the restaurant. But other than that, I'm also working in the kitchen whenever I can, and also as cashier up front.
Nice.
Well, hi, everybody. Well, first of all, thank you for reaching out and giving us a space and a medium to share more about us.
Yes.
But yeah, so hi, everybody. My name is Allaine. I'm one of the owners of Filo Cafe. My roles kind of changed over time. But as we were opening, I was mainly social media, marketing, brand image, awareness, which includes from your phone up to the front door to the flooring up until you order and receive that food and until you leave and even leave if you interact with us afterwards. But yeah, so over time it also became like product innovation, ideation and development. You kind of have to be creative with some of these things.
Oh, for sure.
And as JC mentioned, he did take over some of the roles that I did have, and so we now share those things.
Yeah.
Since I am since I am starting to kind of expand a little more of my I guess, career and experiences and opportunities. So, but it will always come back to here.
Yes, and we can bookmark that too, because I mean, I always say that you're so much more than just one thing that, or you know, a certain hat that people might perceive you as or assume by. We're so much more than that. So I'm excited if you were able to share that later on. But can you give a quick background of Filo Cafe, how you guys started? Because it is family owned, right? You work alongside with your family.
Right.
Yep.
So how did that start?
You got it.
Okay. So actually, before we had this restaurant, we had a restaurant in Virginia Beach called not Filo Cafe, Sala Sala.
I was about to say.
Oh wow!
So that restaurant, since our family's here, like immediate family, my mom and dad, we couldn't really help out because it was mainly my grandparents during Sala Sala, but they've gotten a little older.
That was also when like COVID happened.
Yeah.
How long were you guys running for over there?
I think it was around 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a long time. It was a good restaurant as well, but my grandparents decided to come over to Maryland just to get some help from us, which was it's a good idea. Like
So,
we're more hands-on now.
They sold it, which was a little hard since it was doing well. That restaurant was doing well and it had potential, but you know, they wanted to retire and come back here and you know be here with us.
Sure. Yeah.
Continue.
All right. Well, now that we're here, so most of the concepts, the ideas of the restaurant, how we're gonna set up the restaurant, how we're gonna serve the food. It was mostly me and my sister. Still the recipes are still from my grandparents. You know,
that's awesome.
the oldies will never.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be the classics. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's how the restaurant came to be. I just want to shout me out because I thought of the name of the restaurant.
Hey,
you know,
okay.
that's me. Filo Cafe, you know what I mean?
But who drew the logo?
That was my sister.
I love it. Oh my god.
Who interior designed?
He was like, we'll
Sorry?
talk later.
Who
We'll talk
put
later.
this all up together?
I thought of that grass wall. That was my idea. You see, you see that sign? That was me right there.
No, it was a collective. It was a collective effort. But no, the name was his idea. He was the one who said it.
Oh yeah, they're siblings, by the way. We didn't even say that. They're definitely siblings.
Can I insert a story about the logo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we were actually in California at my aunt's place, and so we were already kind of brainstorming, like, hey guys, we need an image, something, a logo, so that we can size down the name and just have it stamped everywhere, and immediately people are gonna know that it's us.
Yeah.
So my uncle thought of a kalesa. And I was like, that could be dope. That'd be
That'd
cute,
be
right?
awesome.
And then so it's like kalesa, Jeep, whatnot, right? Okay, I'm gonna be honest here with my train of thought. I play Valorant also, and you know, one of those agents, Neon. She's Filipino, and when she came out, they also came out with a spray, like you know, a little spray you can do in video games.
Yeah.
And it has a whole Jeep. So if the Jeep is in a video game that's like played literally globally, then you know,
Dude,
it's recognized. It's starting
Yes.
to represent Filipinos and be like a sign of, you know, part of like what being Filipino is and what's part of the culture and what's happening, you know, what have you. So
Yes.
we decided to go with the Jeep.
Well, that was a great idea.
Yeah.
It's such a good like trademark of the Philippines. Like,
Right,
it's so it's us, you know,
Right,
and
exactly.
it's such a good time to share stories of how it came about and like why it's such an iconic symbol to us. And that's awesome.
Right.
So she did the logo. Let's make it clear.
She did a logo.
But they'll continue, so we can
Same.
tell mom and nana and stuff like that.
Yeah, so when the restaurant came about, my mom is a real hard worker back in the kitchen. I remember the first day she was stressed out, but right now she's still working every day. Actually, every day the store's open, she's out back cooking for the restaurant. Honestly, respect to my mom. I love her.
Respect.
My dad is also working back there.
He has a whole full time, by the way, so he's like doing all of this
Yeah.
after all those commitments. And speaking of, they're here, so but
Speaking of
respect to my parents because they put so much time and effort, and you know they don't get what they deserve. Honestly, they deserve more in the world, honestly. So
you heard that, parents? They were just sharing how much they appreciated you. So you came in the right time. Oh, that's awesome.
and see, they're like still smiling, like so big, and you know.
Well, it's I'm sure it's such an honor and such a joy to be able to work with family, the people that you grew up with, and but I'm sure it comes with
For
some
sure. Everything,
stuff that
everything comes with pros and cons.
absolutely yeah.
does.
Well, we're gonna get into that. I think just to break the ice a little bit. So we're a little bit more casual here. I wanted to also, for those who are Filipino Americans, you'll kind of, I don't want to say it's a stereotype when it's true, but we're gonna play a little thing where it's like, what is your go-to Filipino ... Okay, so you can just tell me what that is. Okay, are you ready? What is your go-to home cooked meal?
Nilaga.
Sinigang.
We're always
Never
Sinigang is
go
also
wrong.
opposite with that. Okay.
yes. All right. What is your go-to snack?
Filipino snack?
Yes, all Filipino.
Whoa.
Skyflakes.
Tell me why
Really?
Nagaraya came to my head. I haven't had that in a minute. Stick
Wait,
Tikoy?
wait, the
Super good.
plain one, the plain skyflakes, or like
Yeah,
the
plain sky.
Yeah.
Actually, those are pretty addicting.
What's up,
Yeah.
Dan? Tikoy?
Tikoy, really
Tikoy.
good. Love that.
Specifically from Lucena, Tikoy.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
one we only get like maybe once every
Yes.
year.
Anyway.
Yes. What is your go-to drink? Filipino drink.
Calamansi juice.
Slight flex, but the pandan milk that I designed, by the way, if you
Okay,
guys
mark
haven't
that.
tried it here, when
Both
I
drinks are
made
good.
that,
Next
I was
visit.
like, Mom, this is it. This is it.
You can
But-
get
Were you
both
into
here at
making
Filo
drinks
Cafe.
before?
Before,
was it
I
like
didn't
when you
have
started?
experience with that,
Okay.
but then once we had this, I was like just playing around with everything, and then slowly we're like, "Hey guys, we have a new whatever, come try it out."
Awesome. Okay, next. What is your go-to dessert?
Leche flan.
I was gonna say flan too. Oh no, puto kuchinta. That match made in heaven, honestly.
Bibingka. Sorry.
Really?
So many good stuff, man.
Espasol, sorry.
Has to be my mom's though.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh well, I already did my own product. I can't keep doing my own product.
That's number two. All right, last one is, again, remember, it's not a stereotype unless it's true, but this is true for Filipinos. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh.
Well, right now, so there's a couple. I have
Okay,
a
okay, that's
couple.
fine. That's fine.
Almost Is Never Enough by Ariana Grande.
That's a good one. By yourself or with someone? Because it's a duet, right?
Well, it's usually with someone. Yeah. Sometimes my brother, sometimes my other friends, whoever's in the karaoke.
Yeah.
whatever.
Lemonade.
Wait, that's not karaoke. Or you have to put on YouTube.
Yeah, I have to put it on YouTube every time.
Yeah, we saw Jeremy Passion live in New York.
Oh my gosh, that must have been
Yeah.
so
I
fun.
see.
Nostalgia, like so much nostalgia. You know how to play uke?
No. I played a little bit of guitar, but
You know, a Filipino boy always has to serenade a girl through that song.
I don't lie. Why did you start learning to play guitar?
I wanted to sing
To what?
to
A girl. Guitar. Yep, that's how it goes. Oh, okay, good. Well, that was fun. Thank you guys for sharing that. Just to
Of
break the
course.
ice a little bit. And it's nice to be able to even just look back on like the things that we grew up on, from the snacks we would eat, with friends in the car, with our family,
Yeah.
or the things that we see every day. The moment you wake up, you have those type of snacks, that drink, whatever. And it's very home to us. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing that. So now we're gonna move on into what goes on behind a business as a
Okay.
family. Just giving some background of what it's like, because I'm sure it's not always rainbows and sunshines, but I think it's through trials, through challenges where you become stronger, I'm sure, as a family, as an individual. I'm sure people see you guys as a family or like pairs all the time, but you guys are also your own individual as well. So that comes with its own journey itself. So I have to ask, and either one of you can answer first. What are the biggest challenges that you guys have faced? Doesn't have to be too specific, but in general, and how you guys have overcome them.
You want me to go first?
I have an
like we're
answer.
staring
Do
right
you
now.
want to go first?
No, man, you're the leader. Ate,
Okay. So the first thing that comes to mind with challenges is when you're running a business as a family, that line between work and our personal life is kind of blurred a little bit. So even if we're not here, or even if, we're technically out or off, we're still like, oh, what's up with this? What's up with that? You know, like, what are we doing with this? What are we doing with that? So that line is blurred.
You never really clock out.
Yeah,
like,
you're never really clocked out. And, you know, that comes with more things also. But I guess that's one of the main things. Yeah.
What about you, JC? Is there any
Biggest challenge, I think it would probably be disagreement. You know what I mean? I mean, we're a family, but it's definitely we're gonna go through a lot of trials, a lot of fights, a lot of crying. But then again, at the end of the day, we are a very strong family, and we get through disagreements very well. You know what I mean?
That's good.
I mean, lately it's very nice. If there's any other disagreement, we're able to talk through things, right? About the restaurant, it's super nice as well, because at the end of the day, I love them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love my family. So
Cue sad music.
it helped me a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just want to
Maturing.
add on that same note, it's definitely been a learning process for all of us.
Sure.
You know, as I said, with that, like, that line that's getting blurred, sometimes for certain decision aspects, you have to start seeing each other as business partners instead of, I'm your sister, you're ate, or younger brother.
You're supposed to be this
or
way.
you're the kids where the parent or grandpa, you know, XYZ.
Yes.
So kind of being able to shift in and out of those depending on what scene we're in was definitely a challenge. But again, learning process for everyone, and I think everyone has adapted well, and we've kind of already found that middle ground for all of us. So
I love that. Yeah, I guess it also depends on like the position of, you know, your intentions in your heart, but in any case there's any arguments or disagreements, it also shows that how much people care about, you know, a certain situation. And so I'm glad to hear. Oh, bye, Paul. I'm glad to hear that it's a learning process. Oh, yes, we will. It's not that we don't want to eat it. It's we will eat it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's great to be able to grow as a family while learning boundaries. I think in everyday life, it's all about learning how to set boundaries and not overstep. And
I just wanted to say, like, when you said, like, arguments happen because it cares, right? Something I always said was like, yeah, like, they get heated, they get it's important to them, it matters,
right?
That's the at the end of the day, that's what you should take out of anything that's like that gets a little bit on this uncomfortable side.
Sure.
It happens because it mattered, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you have to go through trials to see, one, to get better, to improve, and then you just continue to grow that passion for that particular thing. So yeah, it's very needed.
Can I make this a little full circle? Because
Sure.
right now we're in like the category of cons, right?
But
There was also, with the point I just made, there was a pro also.
Sure.
In that process of like blurred lines, or everything's a little more on the spotlight, I would say that, I guess personal to me, I'm not sure about my brothers, but growing up until now, I would say now my relationship with my parents are a lot stronger, and they definitely see me more now, which is something more than I could ever ask for. And I know not a lot of people can say that, especially, I mean, I'm 23. That's old to like some people.
I'm 23.
But
We're not.
but you know, like, that's a blessing. Not a lot of people can say that their parents see them, and I'm very blessed and I'm very happy that they do.
Absolutely.
And that challenges you said that we had to go through was definitely something that helped that come to be.
Yeah, and it all depends on perspective too, because we could all be approached with the same problem, but it could be changed with just a change of a perspective, the change of how we look at it, you know, seeing it as a growing opportunity rather than a stumble block, you know. Amazing. Well, glad to hear that. And so, what are some of the most significant successes? How long have you guys been open for now?
Our anniversary was
just recent.
the 8th of October.
Yeah.
So I think by the time this comes out, it's like a year and a month.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Very nice. We had a
Yeah.
celebration.
Congrats.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
that's awesome. So, what would you say since then, since starting and opening, would be significant success? And success is different for different people. So,
Right.
both of you guys
Can
can
I
share.
start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, it's in the small things.
Yes.
One of the stories that kind of come to my mind is a comment that one of my friends shared. And this ties back into what you said as a restaurant being more than just its food.
Yeah.
Because when we first opened, at least for me, I knew how important it was going to be, being a landmark or a place where people can gather, people can learn about us, our culture, but also we can learn about other people. And, specifically through food, we're doing that. And like even small comments such as, this makes me feel like home. That in itself is success, because then we're able to take people back to a time that they miss or they haven't been able to get back to, or just want to be familiar with again.
Yes.
And as specific as that is to Filipinos, it's an even greater success when, so back to the point I was trying to make, my friend Aaron, he's Korean, and so we'd always ask him like, hey, how is it? Like, be honest. You can be honest.
Have a different perspective.
Right?
Yeah.
And he said, honestly, it's like home cooked meals. I crave it all the time. It makes me feel like home. So for him to say that, it makes him feel like home. And he's not Filipino and not the, I guess, direct market in terms of making people feel that way.
Yeah.
And if that is bleeding into our other markets, then that's a huge success.
That is.
That is a huge success because it's creating that impact and that history in the point in time. And if one person felt that way, that's one person making it important for our existence.
Yeah, and memories really last a long time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. I just want to add, and before JC, if you add
sure.
to that, our before, I'll be honest, I'd be like kind of cringy when it comes to like, Filipino pride and, the jackets. And you know what I'm talking about.
Everyone had that jacket.
Oh my gosh. And I don't know why. But as I get older, I definitely become more and more proud of being a Filipino, especially Filipino American, and being able to have that dynamic and be able to be immersed in different cultures. And one thing I've really learned, and I agree with you, when you get older, you get closer with your family members because you start to learn more about their story. You become more open, learn why they say things that they say, or say why they miss something, or look back on their life, or always talk about their past because they work so hard to come here and they need that sense of home again because, some, like you said, some people haven't been able to go back. And so it's probably such an honor to be able to cater that to these people who have been missing it for so long. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a great success for sure. What about you, JC?
For me, my greatest success, or the greatest success Filo Cafe has gotten, I'd say a little bit of context. First 3 months of the restaurant opening, I was leading kitchen. So
wow, chefing it up.
Just because there was no order at the beginning, so I kind of just brought order to the kitchen. Except I am a college student, so I have life outside of the restaurant. So I was working every day. The biggest success to me was when I walked in. Usually, like maybe 6 tickets is busy. That's already people are stressed in the kitchen. I walked in the kitchen. And then I said, hey, Ma, you need some help? You need me to lead the kitchen? My mom was like, no, it's easy. For me, I think that was, to me, I was the happiest there. I was like, oh, yes. Because I see my mom like, oh, this is good. While in the beginning, she was like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, I was very happy to see my mom comfortable in the kitchen, and also, less stressed. I don't want to see my mom stressed. So
for sure.
yeah, when that day came, I was like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. I know what you mean. When you get older, what gives you joy is just seeing your parents happy. And I mean, that's
sure.
what we want at the end of the day, for them to be taken care of and enjoy their life after all the sacrifices they've
Right.
given us. That's the best feeling. Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to move into our next segment, which is something Positive and Ponder is really, really focused on, which is intentionality, mindfulness, and mental health. And so, of course, with the business comes a lot of our mental energy, emotional, so many things. And so I was really curious as to how you guys have managed your own mental health personally. And so has there ever been moments where you had to establish boundaries, which we talked about earlier, but if you want to go more in depth, boundaries and maybe practices to maintain a healthy work and lifestyle?
Me first or you first?
Doesn't matter. All right, I'll go first. So I don't really talk much about myself in terms of mental health. I usually try to keep it to myself, but for me, mental health, trying to keep myself healthy. To me, I view mental health as you have to view yourself all the time. You have to look at yourself, know yourself. You have to know what you're good at, what you're bad at, and you can't blame it on anyone, right? Like anything that happens to you, of course, the blame's not always going to be on you, but it's a lesson you need to learn, and you have to. It's a way you can learn about yourself and learn about what you should do next time, how you should attack certain situations. And throughout this whole journey with Filo Cafe, definitely I've seen a lot of negative sides towards me, for sure. And it's a lot of people think it's a bad thing when you see yourself in a negative light. To me, when you see yourself in a negative light, things you don't like about yourself, it's a chance to grow. Right? So it's separating who you want to be and who you are now, and how you get there, for sure. So with this restaurant, there were things I've reacted in terrible ways. I've lashed out many times, or I lost control. But after those situations, you definitely have to look at yourself and say, why? And then, see who you want to be, and then move on from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very well said. And thank you appreciate your vulnerability. And we believe that vulnerability is strength. And for you to be able to open up and say, like, yeah, I'm in the wrong sometimes, is a great strength in itself. And it just shows how growth driven you are, which is a great character to have, especially when you're in the business field. So
Thank you.
Yeah, especially at your age. So good job. What about you?
Okay.
Like, hold on. This might
No,
take a
it
while.
wasn't that. It's just my mental health journey is very much ongoing and has been going
It will always go.
before, during, and after
Yes.
the restaurant. I don't even know how much I should share, but let's see. Let's start with the restaurant allowing me to really highlight that, hey, some, like, those, like, the bell notifications and
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, oh, you need to attend to this,
Yes.
like, ASAP. Not that I was kind of pushing it off, like, in high school and college. Like, I knew, I was like, oh, maybe I do need, like, therapy or something, or just something, some support or whatever. But then also it's kind of hard to speak up about it, because sometimes you won't be understood, or it might be
Hard to open up.
Sure.
yeah. Let's just leave it there.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But again, like with the restaurant, like earlier I mentioned that, like, that family bond really got strengthened, and part of that was also seeing, when I said they see all of me, one of that was also my mental health. I'm tired, and let's not be emotional on the camera. But
okay.
My train. Okay, sorry. So that was definitely one of the things that. One of the good things that did come out of this was like, hey, I can feel comfortable reaching out, feel comfortable asking for help, feel comfortable kind of not shielding myself, kind of really just allowing myself in their arms, kind of. As a metaphor.
Sure.
By them, like my parents, my brother. He's like my rock, honestly. I'm like the older sister, but he's
not at all.
he's who's always kept me on earth.
Cue music.
No more water.
Kept me on earth, but also made sure to continue to hold on to the crown that I do deserve and I should hold on to and shouldn't let go of.
Yes.
But I guess more specifically, I it wasn't till post grad the restaurant, and because with this you have a lot of time.
Sure.
Well, yes and no, right? Whatever. And I started really focusing on that side of my health, mentally, because I've been going to the gym, whatever, trying to keep this straight.
Yes.
But when that wasn't enough, it's like, hey, do something about this, right? So, what I will say about that is like it's so important to look at yourself, and it's not pity. It's not like asking for pity. It's being self-aware also, like, and being strong, because asking for help isn't easy.
I was just gonna ask you that, if you guys ever have trouble asking for help, because when you're in such a position of, just say, a host or a business owner, a lot of people rely on you. A lot of people see you a certain way, and of course you don't want to disappoint people either. Right. And so for me personally, I didn't ask till like this year for help for Positive and Ponder, something that I've been carrying for 3 years, which has been a great passion. But I feel like when we hold on to it too much, or sense of control, or we feel like we're a burden to other people for asking for help, we're actually limiting ourselves from growing. Rather, we think we're strengthened, or we think we're getting stronger for holding it in and keeping ourselves together. But at the end of the day, you got to let go to be able to see things in a new view. Exactly. If you stay fixated on one thing, like for me as an artist, if I stay fixated on my piece for too long, it just becomes like a mess, because you have to step aside for a little bit to see it in a fresher view. And so I am so glad that you guys have started and are still in the journey. I think it's something that won't end. It's an everyday battle, the battle of the mind, but through it, that's just how we become stronger, and what we see as weaknesses later on become strengths. And that's what we push here on Positive and Ponder. We are vulnerable because it becomes a strength. What we used to see as something what we pitied on, later can become a story of encouragement, a story of, the person listening right now could be like, oh, I haven't checked up on myself. Like, we always describe it as like, Sims, like our level low right now. We like peed on ourselves like 3 times. And that's just what happens when we aren't attending to ourselves. I always believe like our body is a temple, and we should be able to take care of it. Right. And in order, you guys serve literally food, but you guys are also serving people. And in order to serve effectively, you have to fill yourself up too with that love as well for yourself. Right. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing that and being open. I think you're probably one of the first to cry on that. So yeah, is there anything else you guys wanted to add in terms of how you guys been? Actually, yeah, what else do you guys do other than working at Filo?
Outside of Filo Cafe, I'm a college student. So right now I'm a sophomore. So outside of Filo Cafe, I'm studying, doing homework. But other than that, I do go to the gym. I take the gym very seriously.
Okay.
5 days a week. It's just something I can't let go in my life. You know what I mean? Health and fitness. I think since I was young, it's been engraved into me. You know what I mean? I was a little chubby when I was younger, so I got some comments here and there. Maybe I took it to heart. That's
we've
why
been bulking for years. I just say that.
Outside of the gym, I also do photography on the side, which is really cool. Meeting people, also like interacting with clients, taking photos. It's a real fun experience outside of the restaurant.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Can I ask you, either gym or like fitness or photography, what is it that draws you to those things? Because I always believe, like, outside of work hours, we do something, we kind of see it as work. Like, I leave my full time to do more work, like Positive and Ponder, but it drives us to do, like our motivation. Other stuff. Yeah.
Well, for fitness, I think that stems from childhood, honestly. But for photography, I think it also stems from childhood. I don't know.
Sure,
like,
everything is from childhood.
When I was younger, my sister would always ask me, "Hey, you want to take pictures of me?" Back then, I was like, again? You know what I mean?
That's like, the Instagram boyfriend.
Oh my gosh, my brother did that.
And then you realize, I started to realize throughout time, like, taking photos that look nice, it just feels good at the end. When you're taking the photos, it's also a good experience to meet people. But also when you're editing that photo, when you finish that photo, you kind of look back and then you kind of look at the final shot. You're like, wow, I took that. You know what I mean? And I feel like whenever I take photography, that's what I aim for. So when I finish a shoot and I finish editing photos, I want to feel that feeling of like, I did that. You know what I mean? You see that shot? It's a cool shot and I did that. You know what I mean? So I think that's what draws me to photography.
Nice. We'll keep going, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. What about you, Allaine?
So for me, in my, I'm trying to keep context short. So in my, I guess, soul searching, because I went to do that. I didn't name it soul searching until after I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now, like, I understand. Also, one of the things that helped me here, in the process of meeting people over there. So I went to Hawaii for that.
Wow.
It really taught me so much about myself, what I want to do, what I want my actions to do. And so, like, when I came back, I was like, I haven't really put in time to stuff that I would be passionate about.
You're like, you don't even know what you enjoy.
Right, exactly. And we're in DMV, DC is right there, and there's so many opportunities. You just have to look for them.
Sure,
so put yourself out there and stuff like that. So when I came back, I just kind of like searched. So now I'm part of True Center. So that's a nonprofit that is focused on mental health for little kids, specifically about trauma. So mental health, the one, and then two, I'm also part of Puso Foundation, a purpose with a heart. Puso heart, but it also stands for a purposeful, unconditional service for others. And so that's charity work, not just in the Philippines, but also other groups in the United States. And every small action, anything will have that ripple effect, and it will always grow big, and it will reach somebody. And kind of just knowing that makes me feel happy, because I'm in a space where I can. And I'm also working alongside people who have that mindset.
Yes.
And it's nice to be around those people. But I guess outside of that, so gym, it used to be 5 days a week, but I had to cut it down to 3.
You should go down.
But definitely, I think keeping that up,
consistency,
not just for like the looks, whatever, but it's
discipline.
When I started, it was for here too. That kept me. When things are rolling, it's like, okay, hey, stop. Like, let's be here. Yes. Whatever the set is, whatever. So that I also stream. I mentioned Valorant earlier, so that's time with my brother, with my friends, and time to release relax. Well, sometimes it's not relaxing if you're like
if we're losing
13-12 and then anyway.
But yeah, so there's there's that as well, and I also want to make sure that I have time for both my friends and my family, since now one of the learning points when I, kind of wanted to be more self-aware, or like just some things that I really want to put focus in on, was the people that are there for me, the people that are supporting me, the people who, it's not confusing that they love me. It's, they're there, and I want to be able to be the same person for them. Like, I know I'm busy, but I will make time for you.
Oof. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I just want to say for both of you guys, and we know but I love our generation now, because I think we're paving a way, and we're trailblazers when it comes to mental health, especially within the Asian Filipino community, because there's still some stigma around it. But I've always thought, and it started with me too, and just humbling myself and being like, every generation we're scraping something off, like either a generational thing, trauma, whatever it is. It takes a lot within us to be able to scrape that off, but it all starts with conversation. And so I'm so grateful that you guys opened up. I'm so grateful, because I kind of see it how, like, we are the voices of when our parents couldn't speak out, or didn't have the words to say, or didn't know how to express it. And so I like to see it in that way, where rather than being frustrated at our parents who can't explain something to us that we ask, it's rather that we learn through that, and provide kind of like that space for them to be able to. And I'm sure working as a family, mental health is a big thing, and you guys are learning together of what that really is. And I want to say thank you for your work when it comes to nonprofit. I know that's something that we're slowly that's our aim and goal in the future. But I said this earlier, we talked about it, how when we're just worried about other people, we can tend to neglect ourselves. But that just solely means you just care so much about people, and there's a great gift in that. You know what I mean? It's not something to feel bad about, like, oh, I'm not, I always say take care of yourself, but there's such a joy when it comes to stepping out of ourselves and being in a purpose outside of ourselves. And so, yeah, we're tired, right? We're exhausted, but at the end of the day, like you said, we're blessed, and it's such a privilege to be able to do stuff like what we're doing right now. So, so awesome. Well, to wrap it up, I guess lessons learned, or you can also share for anyone who's listening who is interested in having their own business and kind of getting started. What would be kind of your advice for them?
Advice. Okay. Well, I'm lucky to have my family, but in terms of what I've seen and what I've learned from this business, if it's gonna take a lot more than you think. Your life won't become, oh yeah, I'm a business owner. Your life is gonna be the business. So you just be prepared to work long nights.
No clock. Don't
stuff. Do things that you didn't want to do, but you have to do because that's for your business. And I guess just know that just persevere. Because if you work through it, then good things will come.
Yes, perseverance.
I think along those lines, have a plan. Literally have a plan for every single part, every single thing, every single aspect. Sometimes things you might not even consider. But also with that, though, is take your time. You don't need to rush.
Yes.
It is so much better to have one big, really nice entrance instead of like a scuffed one. I mean, if things roll out that way, that's fine too. But that, that learning you're definitely going to learn through it. For both ways. But
and to speak on that, no matter how much preparation you're going to go through, you're gonna run into problems.
Facts. That's facts.
But when you encounter those problems, just make sure you, of course, have a sense of urgency, but don't stress out. All right. There's always going to be a solution to that problem. It's just you have to take action.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess a final advice, not just specific to opening a business or whatnot, is you gotta be your first believer of yourself. You gotta be confident with yourself. You gotta think, believe, and know that whatever you put your mind to, that you can do it and you will do it. And sure, that's determination, but it's a lot harder than you think, because there will always be something, someone, event, whatever, controlled or not controlled, that will make you feel or tell you that you can't. But you gotta be the person, you gotta be the first person. If it ends up to be the only one, you have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
That, I would say, is the most important learning point. And, you know, sometimes even I still forget to remember that. And if there's one thing, it's that one.
That's a really good one. Yeah, especially if, like, you know, you have a slow day, and sometimes that can be discouraging. But, like, that's a question for me, too, that I've been pondering, too. Is, like, if there's no one, or if there's not clear evidence that things are going well, are you still going to do it? Are you still going to show up and be consistent? Do you still believe in what you believed in,
right,
you know, a few days ago? So
For sure.
nice. Well, thank you guys. Anything else?
No, I think we can end there.
Good?
Unless you got something.
No, I'm good.
Do you guys want to tell each other something? I'm just trying again. No, we're not gonna force that. But
He already knows.
yeah,
He already knows how much.
well,
he
I
needs
love
to
it. I
listen.
love to see your guys' dynamic, and that's something really special, and something that you can't replace. We were talking earlier at a session we had, journaling session, like money, business, followers, whatever. Those things are replaceable, but time and people, you can't replace that. So yeah. I'm so glad our audience got to hear that part of your guys' story. And I hope it encouraged you guys. For those who made it this far in the podcast, thank you again, Allaine and JC. It was so nice being able to get to know you more in our first interaction. But I'm so honored to be able to hear your stories of triumph, your stories of success and trials. And that's everyday life. And I think many people will be encouraged by just seeing people struggle together, and that there's a great beauty that comes out of that. So yeah, thank you guys. Please check out, is there anything I was wrong camera. Is there anything that we should keep an eye out when it comes to Filo Cafe? Anything that we should keep an eye out? Maybe a new item or an event, whatever that may be.
Well, there is something for November.
For November?
Yes, there is.
Okay, well, from what I know, all right, so we are looking.
Oh,
We're looking to release a smoothie line, so
Ooh.
look out for that. But that's gonna come out very soon. Probably you'll first hear about it on Instagram for sure. Filo Cafe Rockville.
but on top of that, though, we are, you know, extending and expanding on that emphasis on that community and being that supporter for each other.
Love that.
We will be having a special, I guess you'd say supplier, but they will also be providing their products here with us. So that'll be exciting. By the way, they're like ube related.
Okay.
Cinnamon
We're there.
related.
A lot
and
of
you guys
desserts,
were
you
at
know.
one of our
Ooh,
collab
wait.
events before, so it's going to be a
Yes.
little more semi-permanent, but
Yeah.
be on the lookout for that.
Oh, that's awesome. We're so excited to see what is in store for Filo Cafe. What's next? I'll wait.
Awkward.
Embarrassing. Good? Okay. Yeah, so we're so excited to see what's in store for Filo Cafe and what's to come. Guys, please check them out. We'll put all of their info in our description so you can check them out. So you can come by, let them know that you're from Sip and Ponder. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this episode and this what we talk about on this podcast, please subscribe, follow, all of that, and keep an eye out for some of our events coming up in the next months. And we're just here as a community providing space for those who need it. And we're so excited to get to know more people in the community. Again, grateful for this interaction we had today. And we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to always love, to always be curious, and to always ponder. Bye.